Hey Acers, and welcome to the Ace Role Playing Games channel. This is the channel where I try my best, with all my limited knowledge, to teach you how to be a better game master. And this is another episode in the segment of the Simply GM series, in which I am going through the Savage Worlds role playing game rules to help you understand kind of how to apply them better. So, let's set our scenario. The players are walking through a mountain pass when suddenly, up ahead of them, they see the bad guy step out from behind a rock. They've been chasing him for weeks, and now here he is standing here alone. Is he unprotected, or isn't he? He mocks them profusely. He looks at them and says, "You may have been chasing me, but you don't realize that it is I who is bringing you to my trap. Prepare to meet your doom." And with that, flames shoot up on either side as an arc of flames connects over the top, and he says to beings that you can't see behind the flames, "Fire." And he's not talking about the flames that are engulfing your characters, but he's talking about the archers standing behind them. What do? So, the scenario I just gave here involves something that comes up occasionally in role-playing games, and it should come up probably more often. We should probably use it more often as game masters, and that is fire itself. Now, in Savage Worlds, fire is a modifier. It's a hazard, and it happens in various different ways, but the main ways that it happens involve usually a fiery weapon. A flaming arrow, a flaming sword, if it's magical, a tracer round, or an incendiary round could ignite something on fire. So, when that bullet, or when that sword, or that arrow hit, the GM will determine A, if the target is inflammable, and contrary to popular belief, inflammable does mean able to catch on fire. It's inflammable. It is able to be inflamed. But people often see IN and think not, because incompatible, things like that. But it is inflammable. Or it could be just flammable. Regardless, Game Master is going to check and see if that thing is flammable, and if it's flammable, able to catch on fire, the person who shot the incendiary round, or whatever it is, or used the incendiary device, rolls a d6. Now, if it's a 6, the thing catches on fire. If it's not a 6, but it's like an incendiary device of some sort, a trap or something, maybe it catches on fire on a 5 or a 6. But regardless, most normal mundane things catch on fire with a 6 on a d6. Now, very flammable targets will catch on fire at a 4 through 6. Volatile targets, like a person soaked in gasoline, will catch on fire on a 2 through 6. And that would be a horrible way to go. And different kinds of fire cause different kinds of damage. So if it's just a spot contact, steam, burn kind of thing, that just can do 1d6 of damage. And that can still hurt. And that is still an acing die. So if you roll a 6 on that d6, roll it again and roll it again. Because somebody can be scalded to death. Horrible way to go. But it happens. A bonfire or being inside of a burning building, that's 2d6 worth of damage. We're talking levels of damage equal to a gun or a blast spell. We'll get to the spells a little bit later. When you're talking a flamethrower, you're talking 3d6 of damage. And maybe when that guy with the flamethrower shoots in through the the holes of the machine gun in the pillbox, the machine gun slits in the pillbox, and roasts it in there. Maybe if your character, if they roll a d6 on you and it doesn't catch on fire, maybe that means that you dove right behind something just as the liquid flames hit. You still got the burning room damage now to deal with, and that also has other hazards that I'll get to in just a minute. But the flamethrower does 3d6 of damage if you actually get caught on fire with it. And lava, if you get caught on fire from that, does 5d6. 5d6. That is so much damage. That is incredible. I mean, that's equivalent to falling almost, let's see, 20 yards. So yeah, about 20 yards up in the air, falling. That means 60 feet. Wow, that's a lot of damage. So fire continues also to cause damage at the beginning of each turn of the victim. And so that is another danger to be aware of. So fire is not something you want to encounter. Sorry there, I just want to take a drink and not get it on video. Anyway, when you're on fire, you roll a d6. If you roll a 6, the flame grows in intensity by another d6. And it about 3d6 is usually as high as you'll go for organic beings. But on a 1, the fire drops down a level. And if it gets reduced below 1d6 of damage, it burns out. You can also make an athletics roll to stop, drop, and roll. Help others put out the flame by putting blankets over the top or whatever. The flame is this, or you can put out a flame the size of a medium blast template. That action, plus any modifiers for intensity, tools, flammability, target, assistance coming from the other direction, those modifiers can be edited. Notice that also armor does protect against that weapon normally, but that's still the risk of lighting on fire. And flame does not cause extra damage. It just has the chance of setting the target on fire. Now, there is another risk that comes along with fire, and that is smoke. And if you read any reports about people who die in fires, most of the time they die from smoke inhalation. And every person within the fire or within a wall of smoke created by this overarching firewall, they're going to have to make a vigor roll every round. And if failed, the character gains a level of fatigue. And a wet cloth, so you can put a wet cloth over your mouth, and that will add a +2 to your roll. The SCBA, I don't really exactly know what I guess it stands for self-contained breathing apparatus. And it's cousin to scuba, but anyway, it's the firefighter's mask. It negates that roll entirely. A person incapacitated from smoke inhalation dies in a number of minutes equal to their vigor. If someone can get to the victim before then, he can be resuscitated by removing him from the hazard and rolling a healing roll at a -2. And that is how fire works in Savage Worlds. So I hope you all are having great games out there. I hope you all have started being able to get a hang of what you're doing there. And if you have questions, ask questions. Please send me the questions. I love helping you guys become better game masters because I know that you can be. And I really hope that someday I can have you as a player at my table and we can do the adventures together. So remember, the world is a better place because you're in it, and I want to play at your table sometime. So make it possible for me. Be here. Be in the world. Stick around. It is a better place, and you make it better. And I love you. If no one else has told you that today, I have. And I'll see you in the next video, and I hope to see you at my table.